Hello, this is Chuckster22, and in this video I want to share with you my daughter Leena took me on the Father's Day gift bourbon trail tour of Louisville, Kentucky. I'm lucky enough to have such a good daughter who also knows my love for bourbon. So as part of my Father's Day gift, he took me on a tour of the Maker's Mark outside of Louisville, Kentucky. Here, you're seeing the fermentation vat where the process for making bourbon begins, where they start to ferment different grains that goes into the bourbon. I will tell you that this bourbon trail is very informative. You learn not just the process of how they make the bourbon, but you also learn the history of the company itself, all of which I found very interesting. Again, we are looking at the fermentation process. I have to tell you, I thought this was all really super cool to watch. And of course, as historic as it is, you also have those computers there.
So.
Yeah, I think they should just do this for an experiment just to see what would grow and kind of give it, a deer here. So, kind of keeps the deer out of our garden.
Yeah, good job.
They're definitely not.
What you just saw there is the gardens that they have on the grounds where they grow their own spices and herbs and that they use to experiment with different flavors. They also have a restaurant on the grounds where they pull fruits, veggies, spices, herbs directly from that garden. What you're looking at now is the overall grounds of Maker's Mark. It's like its own little town or campus, if you will. You got buildings where they make the bourbon, where they bottle the bourbon, where they actually have a printer's press that you're going to see in a little bit, where they print the label for the bourbon. And actually, that printer press goes back a long, long ways, and there's a label there. And there's a bourbon aging room where they age the bourbon. In their wooden barrels, of course.
So once it goes through that four seasoning,
and we also got to taste bourbon all along the way. And there is the bottling facility. Bourbon's made, aged, labels printed, and now it's getting ready to go out to the store. Pretty cool, huh? And you're watching them there dip the red wax onto the bottle. That's their signature trademark. It's how they seal the bottle, but it's more so just their signature trademark. You'll see later on where both Leena and I, as part of the tour, get to also dip our bottles that we take home with us in that red wax that you're seeing them do there. One more thing about those aging rooms, it's built into a hillside where there's actual limestone in the hill that's used to keep that aging room with the barrels cool.
Your favorite friendly
saw a glimpse of that earlier. And now here, you see Leena is getting ready to dip her bottle that she's taken home with her into the red wax. She's doing a very good job.
thank you.
And here she goes. Now I'm getting to do it. Let's see if I can do a good job, or at least a decent job. And dip. And then some of the artwork sculptures they have throughout. Here there is a tree next to where I parked, and you see my truck there. I'm trying to figure out what that fruit was. Now, as part of what Leena
Honestly,
wanted to show me, we're at the Kentucky Derby, where she actually worked as a bartender in the VIP room a couple years in a row. So it's really important for her to show me around Kentucky Derby. And since I'm such a fan of that race, I couldn't wait to go and check it out. Churchill Downs. Of course, they let us have access so we can go and look at the track at Churchill Downs, which has the Kentucky Derby every year. It's a very beautiful place, just like that Maker's Mark facility we were at earlier. I can't tell you enough how happy I was to be on this trip with Leena. We made many great memories. She got to show me a lot of things I'd never seen before. And I have to tell you, Louisville, Kentucky is a great place to go visit. They also have a lot of great little bars, historic bars, bourbon bars, all throughout Louisville.
Yep.
Another thing about Churchill Downs, I was surprised with how much development was around there. And you could actually see the University of Louisville football stadium not too far from Churchill Downs as well. Well, folks, those are all of the highlights from Leena's Father's Day gift of a trip to Louisville, Kentucky to see Maker's Mark Bourbon Tour, as well as Churchill Downs, home of the Kentucky Derby, and many other nooks and crannies throughout Louisville, Kentucky. I hope that you enjoyed these highlights as much as I enjoyed sharing them with you. Again, a big thanks to Leena for taking me on this trip and showing me a different part of the country I probably would otherwise not see. This is Churchill 22 saying, keep the bourbon flowing, and Churchill 22 out.